Well, hey there, it's Jennie Wallach with the Wallach Group in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm so excited to share on this episode of Agent Success Secrets. My friend Tanya Kerr out of the Georgetown,
Mhm.
Texas area, which is outside of Austin, Texas, where there's just
That's right.
tons of people wanting to move to and from. So, Tanya, share with everyone a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure. Yeah. So my name is Tanya Kerr with T Kerr Property Group. And like Jenny said, so we are out of Georgetown, Texas, which is about 30 minutes north of Austin. So we work all the suburbs, Austin and north of Austin. So I run a team. And recently we just joined forces with another team. So that's been very exciting for us.
Well, Tanya, I mean, you've merged with a successful team in town, which is going to
Mhm.
really skyrocket your production and your real
Mhm.
estate success. But you've really only been in the business for 7 years.
That's
So
correct.
that's pretty darn amazing. So just kind of
Yeah.
share a little bit about your background of how you got
Sure.
where you are now.
Sure. Okay. I was originally a teacher, then an instructional coach, and then assistant principal. I eventually got out of ed I started doing real estate for myself while I was in education. And then I decided to take the leap and move into real estate full time. I initially joined a team, and then I became an expansion partner for that team. So I was running a team within a team. And
Yeah.
then eventually I realized I needed to go out and start my own team. And that's how T Kerr Property Group was birthed.
Yeah.
So truly that's only been a little over a year of that team. And now um, we have essentially merged with another team in the market center. And so we kind of grew double in overnight. So
Yeah.
that was great. Yeah.
And I want to get to that, but first I want to kind of go
Mhm.
back. So
Okay.
to come from being a teacher, which we know
Hmm.
can be incredible real estate professionals because you really care. And so you
Hmm.
had all these skills and knowledge of how to be a great teacher, and then you chose to get into real estate. You
Hmm.
know, you must be a little crazy like the rest of us. And
Hmm.
then you had success right away. So what were you doing in your early days that got you
Yeah.
to be able to say, I'm ready to fly. I'm going to do this on my own now.
Right. So when I was a teacher, you show up at school like at 6:30 in the morning to start your day. And then school lets out at 3, but that's not when your work is done, right? So you're there until 5, 6, 7 at night preparing for the next day. And so that is just that I've just always been doing that. And so when I got into real estate, that is just how I conducted business. I showed up at the office ready to go, ready to work.
Yeah.
And so I treated it like a career. And so when people would say, "Oh, well, I only work on 3 days a week," I couldn't wrap my head around that because
Right.
because that's just not the industry I came from. And so I showed up. I showed up at the office. I worked. I called. I did all of the activities. And I think that that really helped me launch into a successful business right off the bat.
Well, I'd say that those skills actually paid off because last
Mhm.
year you got to help 94 families, over 50 million in volume, and those are big numbers. And you know, you have a pretty small and mighty team. So kind of
Mhm.
explain what your team setup looked like last year, I guess.
Okay. So last year we had I had an executive assistant. We called her a client experience partner at the time. And then I had a transaction coordinator that were both in-house. And I had one virtual assistant that helped with marketing and listings. As for agents, it was me, an agent who I had worked with for several years, named Amy. And then we had two brand new agents, Michaela and Janelle. I could not be more pleased to tell you that they have done more than 4 times the average business of a new agent this
Right.
year in their first year, both of them. One has hit double digits in volume this year, so that's phenomenal.
So
Um,
wait. You were a teacher. Do you think their
mhm.
success has a little bit to do with you slowing down and teaching them or?
I don't know that I slowed down,
Oh, okay.
but But I do think the teaching thing, I think modeling. So
Yeah, there you go.
part of it is, hey, go on these appointments with me. Watch what I do. Watch what I say. Hey, when you say this, be careful because if you say it this way, this is how they might feel. What you want to do is make sure that they feel uplifted. Try it this way, and so just some things, some tweaks like that. But yeah, they every single and at the time I was just like, we're woman owned and we're all women. I was just so excited about seeing their success. There's a lot of I get a lot of pleasure out of seeing other people succeed.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I
Mhm,
interrupted you because I wanted to go into that point of
mhm,
how were they able to grow. So you obviously
mhm.
found great talented agents to join you.
They're talented and not only talented, their intentions are good. They are good human beings. So I just got my letter from Bold last year, and in it I said, I want a team that is thriving, and I want every person on that team to be a wonderful human being. And that is what I have. These are just good people that care for others. And they are great problem solvers too.
Well, I know what's so important to your team and your business success is that you actually care about the clients and you have a term for that. So kind of describe
Yeah.
what your team culture is like.
Yeah, we are very, very client centric. We always, whenever there's something that's coming up or we're discussing something, our guiding question is, of course, what's best for the client. Whatever is best for the client is what we'll do. And so that also means what's best for our clients going forward. How do we stay in relationships with them? How do we serve them? How do we come from contribution? What are the things that we can do to make their life easier? Whether that's hosting right before school, whether that's hosting free haircuts for their kids, because we're all scrambling to get haircuts for our kids right then. We forget about it. Let's be honest, we do every year. Um, whether it's that, whether it's family photos for free, whatever it is, what can we do to love on them and to become a part of their family?
And make their lives easier and better.
Hmm.
That's what
Right,
I think is the most important thing that you do.
right,
So
right.
whenever you discover what's most important for your client, then what do you do with this information? Then how do you build your business plan out?
Hmm.
All of that.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think you just have to be intentional um, with the people that you're serving. So sometimes we have very analytical people, right? And those analytical people, we have things for them too. We have webinars that are focused on how to save money on property taxes, information around property taxes. So we have webinars on what are the things that can raise your property's value, what are the things you can do, what are the things you should not do. So sometimes or not sometimes, all the time, what we're trying to do is create enough client experiences that every single client that we serve will be drawn to something.
Yeah.
And we do that through our newsletter too. It's very multifaceted so that we're hitting all sorts of personality types and different modalities.
Now, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups and have a lot of realtor friends, believe it or not. And I've heard this topic of newsletter come up all the time. Some people seem to just be mystified of how to put together a quality newsletter, like you said, that hits on all the different clients that will be reading it.
Hmm.
So just kind of
Hmm.
talk about your buckets of
Hmm.
and categories inside of your newsletter.
Sure. So at the very top, it's always a local hotspot, something up there, and we name it. So people kind of are always seeing something local. And then it's the team. And then under that is the market data of what's happening in the market. Right under that is a video of, I used to try to type it up, and now I'm like, nope, video is the way to go because it's quicker and easier with a little synopsis. And so a little video of what's the opportunity in the market. What are the things that buyers or sellers should know right now today? And so then there's that. Under that is events, whatever event we're hosting. So we have two different newsletters, one that goes out to our clients and then one that goes out to our database because we have a database of like 22,000 people. So we don't send our events. Go ahead.
Would the database, the 22,000, be more of your unmet people? You're not in
Right.
relationship two-way yet?
Right. And so we have one that goes out to them because we want to come from contribution and service for them, but the events are for our people that we have met. And so then we have the events. We also always have, and this is probably my favorite part, is a day in the life. So one of our agents is featured, something that they're doing or just learning a little bit about them, their family, what keeps them going, that sort of thing. And then under that, we have some property, like listings that are featured. We usually feature 2 or 3 listings. Under that, there's links to our blogs, any posts we've made, um, more events in the community, things like that. And we always end it with a recipe, something really fun for that time of year, because people love recipes. And then also something for the kids, like one of my favorites was how to teach your kids how to save money, stuff like that. So little helpful tips. And so the goal with the newsletter is to make sure that our people who only care about the market, they can come just look at the market. Are people who only care about the recipe? That's fine. Just come look at the recipe. Are people who care about events? That's great too. So we just want it to be versatile enough that everybody that it's sent to has a reason to check it.
I love it. And because the reminder here is that you're educating them, but also you're being fun and
Hmm.
entertaining. And like you said, hitting on all the different styles and people that are in there, but also you include real estate because we are in
Hmm.
real estate. I think that is so
Right.
important. You don't want it to all be real estate, real estate, real estate. You need it to just be folded in there because if it is time for them to need to buy or sell, they're going to go, oh, yeah, that's why I'm getting their email. It's because they're
Right.
my favorite realtor.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
I love it. Now let's kind of slide on over. So you have all this system set up in your business that you're client centric, that you love on your people. That is like it. Those are your core values,
Hmm.
loving on your people. And so
Hmm.
in the meantime, you were in relationship with a local agent who was at a place where just kind of done
Yeah.
business, but still wanted to do some deals, but didn't want to lead anymore. So talk
Yeah.
about how that happened and what you've kind of discovered since then.
So there's a gentleman I am a big fan of his. His name is Russ, and he has been in the business in the Georgetown area for 23 years. He is so well known, so well known, and he has an iconic look. So people just know him by his cowboy hat. And so he and I became friends years ago, and would just talk business, and we would bounce ideas off of each other, challenging transactions. We'd just chat. Um, and so we developed a real mutual respect for each other's businesses, and how we conduct ourselves. And so his director of operations got this incredible opportunity. And by the way, he was the one who connected the dots for that, which tells you what kind of person he is, that he took that risk, because he knew it was right for her. And so when she was taking that opportunity, he had to either go into building again, and hiring a new director of operations, or he had to find a different route. Um, and so that's when our conversations really started, is because he saw the way we ran a team and that we were structured so that we could handle his business and keep going, that it would not be a step back in any way. It would only be step forward.
Yep.
Um, and so we started talking about what that win-win would look like. And also we had to get really aligned with how what client events we did, what software we used, all the things, what he was doing, what we were doing, so that we could merge the two as seamlessly as possible. What to keep, what to get rid of, how to adapt.
And this wasn't something to take lightly. You both were very dedicated
Mm.
professionals and really cared about your original teams and culture and
Hmm.
really needed to make sure that they were in alignment. So, how long did it really take from first convo of maybe we should do this to we're doing this?
I normally, everything that I've looked at, normally these things really take like a year or more. We did this in 3 months. My team, if they were here, they would tell you like everything that we do is at turbo speed. But so we really, it just, because his director of operations was moving into this other opportunity, we had to make sure that we got this done quickly. Um, and so from really start of conversation to execution merging teams was 3 months about. Yeah.
Because I know people that are watching are going to want to know,
Yeah.
how does the compensation work in some kind of plan like
Sure.
that?
So here's what I would say. So if somebody is seventh level, then usually there's a buyout of their business. There's a figure attached to that. If they are still in production, then generally what it is and in our agreement is he is a legacy agent. He can do as much business as he wants. He can do as little as he wants. He, my goal for him is that he loves life. That is my goal for him.
Yeah.
I want him to love the life he lives. And so he gets a better split, right? On anything that he chooses to close and anything that he refers out or that we convert from his database, because that's part of the agreement, is we are working it with fidelity and we are working it to the best of our ability to help him. To help convert deals and to help make this a profitable situation. So there's referral fees on all of that, and it's a sliding scale for 4 years. So that's the agreement that we came to. And then of course he wants it to be successful. He wanted I can't say enough wonderful things about him. When we merged, it really was we wanted his agents to decide whether they wanted to be part of it or not, and we wanted to honor that decision. We wanted them to opt in, or it was okay if they opted out. We were going to love them either way, and help and support them either way. And so, uh, you know, that's been the situation, and it's I always get so cautious about saying how wonderful things are because you never know what's about
Yeah.
to happen.
True.
But it has been a storybook. And I think it comes from two people that have integrity and that very much care about clients, putting everybody else first to make sure we're serving everybody else first, and that are very aligned on our belief systems.
Was there any struggle between leadership or control, or was it like, here's your role, Tanya, and here's mine?
I give all the gratitude to Russ for this. In our very first team meeting, he said, I've been doing this, 23 years, and I cannot tell you how impressed I am with what they are doing. And this is the opportunity here is his words were, I was playing not to lose, and she's playing to win. And that is somebody that I will follow. And he was like, what she says goes, and we will follow her.
Nice.
And so how he has set me up for success has also been pivotal in the agreement.
Well, I mean, you've been in the business for 7 years. You've had fast and rapid growth, like you said,
Mhm.
and this probably wasn't something you thought about a couple years ago. So just for those listening or watching, maybe today you don't think that this is something that might happen for you, but what would you say to
Mhm.
them just for some advice and tips?
I think beautiful businesses deserve to thrive. And he created a beautiful business, and it deserves to thrive, whether he is at the helm or not. And what I wanted to be a good steward of his business and of his people and of his agents.
Mm.
And so what I would say is for somebody that's out there and they're thinking, and maybe it's not even crossed their mind ever, and maybe this is the first time that they've ever heard of this concept. Think about the beautiful businesses that have been created in your area. What happens when that person decides they want to spend more time with their family or they want to travel more? What happens? What
Yeah.
happens to an agent that has medical issues and they need to stop? What happens to um, a younger agent who says, you know what, I loved this and I did this for a couple of years, but I'm ready to do something else now? What happens to their database and to their people? That is such a beautiful opportunity to step in and say, I've got you, not only to the agent, and let me help you make financial sense for you, but also for those people. Like you don't have to go search for anybody else. We're right here and we still have you.
That's a beautiful way to put it because if you already had that you are client centric, you're just making sure that those aren't just abandoned, orphaned
Hmm.
buyers and sellers who had a great agent who just decided to make a life
Hmm.
change. It's just a
Hmm.
beautiful way to think about it. I love that.
Right.
What else
Yeah.
do you want to talk about in our last final minutes here, Tanya?
I'm known for talking about events.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what I'm
let's
known
do it.
for. Yeah.
You are known for that, that's for sure. And I already wrote down like 5 new things in the time that we've talked that I've learned from you. So I know there's
Yeah.
many, many more. So what would you want to hit home with when it comes to
Okay.
client events?
Got it. Okay. So this is what I would tell people if you're listening right now and you're planning for 2025, or, whenever you're watching this. Um, Plan ahead. Start the year before and plan out the events as they make sense for your clients. So, for example, we do quarterly events. Some of them are micro, some of them are very big events, but we host at least one event a quarter. Plan those out and start scheduling and nailing down everything far, far in advance because you will get busy. During quarter two and quarter three, historically, that is when we are our busiest. And so when it comes to quarter four, you will accidentally drop the ball on events if you did not plan it far in advance. So all of our events are planned out no later than February of that year. We already have what we're doing on the calendar, but all the specifics will be planned out by February. So that way we can make sure that nothing falls off, and that we're still serving our clients. So,
Okay. I love all that. And I know that you have so much to share when it comes to the events and the
mhm.
strategies with that. But I want to wrap up with something that's most important to you. What would
About events,
no, it's
most important to me.
what's most important to you in your life, and that is really what's most important
Okay.
when we're done with this lifetime.
Okay.
What is it?
I What's most important to me, this phrase has been stuck in my head over and over lately. And you know how that goes. It means that you should spend time thinking about it. But how you do anything is how you do everything. I initially did not understand that phrase. Um, and then just recently I had an epiphany and I was like, oh, now I get it. So, I mean, how you treat people is really important. Um, I think how you do everything when you hire somebody and you're so excited about hiring them, how you also release them to their next chapter, that is important, right? So, so I think that that's something that I'm really honing in on is how you do anything in life is how you do everything. If you focus on progress, and being excellent in your craft, you know, I think it's just so important to do that throughout your entire business, to try to be the very best you can for others. Because at the end of the day, I believe that we are in such a unique position in real estate because we get to serve people with their greatest asset, with huge financial decisions, and we get to be good stewards of them and their finances. And I say this all the time. I believe we are doing God's will just through real estate. I truly believe it.
I love that so much. That is so great. And what a good place to end. But first off, let me thank you for spending your valuable time with me. I love learning from you. I love your energy. And so
Likewise.
how can people best find you, Tanya?
You can absolutely find me on Facebook. Just know that there is another Tanya Kerr. So look for Tanya Kerr in the Austin area, Georgetown. And you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. My website is tkerr, Kerr, realestate.com. If anybody ever wants anything from me, like a copy of the newsletter or to talk about a golden handoff, please reach out. I love being there for our community as well, our real estate community.
I love it. Thank you for all that you do for us and helping to make us a little bit better. And I appreciate you. And I can't wait to see you soon.
The same right back at you. Thank you for being such an incredible person and leader.
Oh, you're the best.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
All right. Bye
Bye.
bye.